Dude, tell her what? Tell her what? You keep stopping. Tell her what?
I was just telling Andy that I met this guy and...
Andy.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. We're talking to you guys about Sistas, season 3, episode 1. We're dealing with a case of, look, we need to define our relationship. She says go with the flow, and what that really means, okay? If someone says go with the flow, let me tell you something now. It's not go with the flow. Never go with the flow when they say let's go with the flow. Define what you're looking for, define what you're wanting, and define the destination you're trying to get to. Otherwise, somebody else will define it for you. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications are up. Lows, we appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded. Okay, look. Oh, listen, by the way, guys, listen, the streets are hot. Stay hydrated, okay? Listen, now, we know about Zach and Fatimah. Okay, I actually really like them as a couple. I think they're great. But the problem with them too is that they never defined the relationship. Okay, there was a lot of quiet expectations. I've told you guys, if you watched my show before, you know, quiet expectations always have the loudest pain, because as you were quietly expecting, there was a silent hope that this will go the way you want it to go. And when it doesn't go that way, suddenly you're in pain because you actually committed yourself. Okay, commitment doesn't need you to verbalize it. It only needs a heart acceptance. Okay, it doesn't need you to verbalize it, commitment. It just needs a heart's acceptance, an open heart to what's happening at the moment and proceedings. And that's what we got with Zach and Fatimah. Okay, now I want you to be I want you to watch something very, very carefully. Okay, now I want you to notice here the opposition of colors right here, light and dark. Now this is the director's kind of direction in terms of costume and everything like that, but quite essentially these colors mean something. Okay, they mean something. What's really important you're going to see here is that you're going to see this gray against this grayish kind of blue against Fatimah's dark blue. Now, if you've been watching a series from last season, you remember that I talked about a scene where they were in the bathroom having sex, and the lighting went to dark blue. And the reason why I spoke about these colors is because they actually speak their own kind of language. Okay, so let me break down some stuff for you. Okay, now you will notice before he gets to this stage where he's got no jacket on, because beforehand he had a red jacket on. That red jacket symbolizes strong masculine energy, motivation to take action, passion, sexuality, the heart. And what you saw was he had the heart with Karen, because when he was talking to Karen, okay, he had the jacket on. This is very important. When he came to Fatimah's house, he took it off. Okay, and the reason why he took it off is because the gray is meant to represent being impartial, unbiased, wisdom, conservatism, the middle ground. Okay, and that's what we see with him. He's on the middle ground. Where's the middle ground? He's between two women. He's between Karen and between Fatimah. He's between his heart and his head. That's where the confusion is. Okay, I would like to say that I think Karen has his heart, Fatimah has his head. He knows Fatimah is the right type of woman to be with, and he knows he should be with this type of woman because she'll uplift him, take him to the next stage, and she'll love and care for him, right? But his heart still wants to prove a point to Karen. So when he's with Karen, he wears a red jacket on. When he's with Fatimah, he puts his grey t-shirt on. It is very purposeful. Okay, very, very purposeful. We're gonna come back to that. I want you to see what I mean by that. Sorry, here. Okay, look, fantastic. In this scene, you can see the red jacket's on his shoulder. And the reason, again, is because as he steps into Fatimah's house, he's removing his heart from the situation and his head is coming into it. The logical mindset that he's thinking with comes into play when he deals with Fatimah. Okay, when he's making that choices, he goes, that's the right choice to make. If I make that choice, it's a real sensible, correct choice to make when I'm with Fatimah. But when he's with Karen, you notice how he tried to say, you know, now I've got a job and everything as well, right? And he tried to say, look, you're 77,000, I want to pay you back. You know, and he wanted to make sure he won the interaction with Karen. Watch my very first review where I talk about that, okay? He wanted to win that particular battle. And so what you're going to see, also with this particular scene here, I'm going to go slightly back again. Here we go. Now he's wearing the jacket. This is so important, okay? Because what we're seeing is the heart covering the head, okay? His heart is covering his head. The heart here is the red that he's wearing, okay? The passion, the sexuality, the drive, the action to want to do something is covering the head for him. Okay, that's why he reacts to Karen in the way that he does. That's why there's such passion between the two. That's why he can't let his ex go. But the problem here is we're talking about something which is really important. We're dealing here with an issue of if you don't define it, someone else will. Between Fatimah and Zach, they never defined what they were doing. They were still just doing, we kind of exclusive, but we're not saying we're exclusive. We know we want each other, but we're not going to say that what we are actually doing. Okay, we kind of moved without declaring. And the problem with that is silent expectations. Someone can go back and say, well, I didn't know. They did know, but they didn't want to know. Okay, and you can't hold them to that because you never verbalized it. Okay, you never verbalized it. All right, people can't read minds. So someone, just in case someone doesn't actually know, which most people do. Okay, when she moved him in, he knew that it was serious. Right, the same way that obviously, that they started going on dates, having sex. You know what it was? It was acts of commitment. When I'm helping you out, putting you on this, put you on that, it's acts of commitment. Okay, but you still need to verbalize it. Okay, this goes back to my point about PEW. I tell you guys all the time, position, expectation, wants. What does it mean? It means you are the PE. What's your position? I like you. What's your expectation? I want to see this go into a relationship. And then you leave that W for the other person to say, hey, what do they want? And if they say yes, fantastic. If they say anything but a yes, it's a no. Okay, so the grey that he wears when he's with Fatimah is essential because it shows us that he's using his head. Okay, and so he's having a battle right now. When he's saying, "Oh, I'm not sure," it's a battle between the head and the heart. Okay, let's look at it. Let's look a bit more and look at it from a different perspective, color-wise as well. And let's look at Fatimah. Oh, okay, Fatimah. Okay, now, if you notice anything about Fatimah, she consistently wears dark blue. She wears it when she's at work. She wears it when she's at home. She wears it when she's going out on a date. She's always, most of the time, in dark blue. And here's why she's in dark blue. It's very, very conscious. Dark blue is all about peace, calm, authority. The darker the color the darker most colors are, the more it means about authority, right? And dark blue talks about wisdom, devotion. There's some also emotional instability, meaning that the person tends to hide their actual feelings. They are suppressing it, okay? And we see that with Fatimah all the time, a suppression of feelings. In fact, the very reason why they're here is because we refused to define it because she didn't want to get hurt. She wanted to go with the flow. She wanted to chill. Okay, and she wanted it to happen organically and naturally. People keep talking about, right? You hear people say this all the time. Let me see how hydrated. You hear people say all the time, I want it to be organic. I want it to flow naturally. You still got to define it. You still got to let the person know that we're entering into a negotiation and contract. You got to let them know. Okay, dark blue colors also represent trying to have your own way. Okay, and that's what Fatimah's been trying to do, have her own way. She's actually been trying to lead it by her helping him out, building him up, moving him in. Okay, she's basically done the Build-A-Bear situation, right? Zach is not as bad as that Build-A-Bear, but there is some Build-A-Bear aspects with her and Zach. She created a man, and it's like you didn't state what you wanted. And when I say state, I mean say, hey, look, I want a relationship with you, because you weren't sure yourself. And now he's moved mad and done something with his ex. That's why she can't say you cheated. That's why there's no conversation about cheating in this whole scenario. The only conversation that's been had is, you hurt me, right? And that's fair enough. But you've got to be able to state what you want, okay? All right? You've got to state what you want. It's so important. So important. I want to break down a few more points and say this. Listen, when you defend yourself by trying to go with the flow because you don't want to commit yourself too early, or you don't want to let the person get too close to you too quickly, you oftentimes get hurt even more. And the reason why, again, is because you're actually operating in a space you shouldn't be operating in. I'm not saying don't guard your heart. That's completely different. Guard your heart by all means, but don't go with the flow. Be intentional with your movements, okay? Because you're going to have a silent expectation, and when it's not met, you're going to be hurt by that. Okay, things that are done in the dark always come to light. You see, the problem with these situations where we say, oh, I'm not sure, I want to go with the flow, is that people don't know where they stand and what are the rules of engagement, because we don't speak about this. So there's some key questions here. Look, one question you ask is this: what are some of the expectations going forward? Are you expecting? Yeah, what are some of the expectations you expect going forward, or that you would require? What expectations? Okay, what are the rules of engagement whilst we see where we're going with this? Are we allowed to date other people? Are we exclusive? Can we have sex with other people? Like, is kissing too far? Like, what is your boundary level? So I know how we're playing this game. The trouble is, a lot of people go with the flow and don't define the game rules. And then when people start breaking rules, even though there are no rules, and the rules are your heart, basically, when your heart gets hurt, you're like, you end up in a position of Fatimah. She now can't really say something too tough. She can say, yeah, you hurt me, blah, blah, blah. But really and truly, Fatimah can't say nothing because she went with the flow. Okay? She went with the flow. Look at this.
You think I'm hurt?
Don't do that. Don't look.
No, you're right. I'm
You
so
changed
hurt.
your hair.
She said, obviously, when she's talking there, you think I'm hurt? Oh, and she is hurt. But again, with dark blues, they suppress their actual true feelings. They don't tell you how they really feel, okay? Because they don't want to be hurt. They don't want to be vulnerable. And you're going to see that a lot with Fatimah. You see that at her workplace when she's wearing dark blue. You see that at home. You see that in a relationship whenever she's dating. Dark blue always comes into play. And is it not kind of interesting that she's wearing dark blue while she's about to go out with another guy, and what's going to happen with that other guy is what's going to be even more interesting. Let me fast forward it for you so you can see. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to show you this. Sorry. Okay. All right, and what you're about to see is the control aspect of Fatimah, where she doesn't allow anyone to get in too close until she wants it to be done so. Okay, and so if you watch it, it makes sense. Watch this.
Well, it was good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I'm gonna call you later.
Okay, in a week?
So she instantly created distance between herself and the guy. The guy was like, let me call you later. She was like, what? Let me call me in a week? Because already she realizes she doesn't want to have to deal with the emotional stuff. Like, she doesn't want to deal with him on that emotional level. She never wanted to. The reason why she did is simply because she was wanting to make herself feel better. Okay, in that immediate moment, she wanted to feel better because of what happened, because of what Zach did. That was all the reason why she did what she did. But she was controlling every proceeding. So I'm letting you guys know, listen, you may control every proceeding, but guess who got hurt again? She did. Why? Define it. Or someone else will define it for you. If you want a relationship, let them know you want a relationship. Stop people pleasing. Stop trying to be too nice. Stop trying to think about what they're going to think. You have to let them know what you want. Do you want them? Let them know you want them. Don't shirk around like, I don't want to be too soon. Listen, let them know. Okay? Person to be ignorant and play and dance in the grey area, which is how situations happen, which is where Fatimah and Zach are right now. It's a situationship because they refuse to define it. Do not let someone put you in a situationship. Define what you're trying to go into. Doesn't mean the very first time you meet someone you define it. I'm talking about as you feel yourself going somewhere, define it. She let us know that she was feeling some type of way, right? Towards the end, right? Let's have a look. You will see this.
Great that I could.
And why can't he? Why can't he?
No, Tech. You need to go. I need to think about all this. It's just too much.
Because she was feeling some type of way. And now, okay, she didn't define it. Now she's hurt. So when you start to feel the type of way, you've got to define it. Say, hey, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is where I'm heading to. What you saying? PEW. I say it all the time. But listen, guys, let me end it there. Listen, if you want some coaching from myself as well, this is what we do on the side, one-to-one coaching, whether you're dating, whether you're married, whether you're single. If you want some coaching, we want some, we tend to go a bit more therapeutic kind of style, where we go back into the past to bring you back to the future. Listen, if you want that kind of coaching for myself, reach out to me, okay? Hit us up on the email down below. It's not free, but listen, you will be free from the constraints of your past and the weights that you're feeling. Guys, stay hydrated. We like, share, subscribe of this channel, and we'll see you again for another episode.